Guys, there's some programs in college football that really develop 5-star recruits. And that's the biggest thing I was worried about when I was a college recruiter. Like those 5-star guys, those are the guys that were supposed to make it. Those were supposed to be the guys that were going to.
Yeah.
And I always found like that the 2- and 3-star guys end up being better players. It's something about the 5-star kid that, a lot of them do work out, but it's funny the number that, that you can have a very competitive college football team with 3-star recruits. I mean, Gary Patterson's did it forever when we were in the Mountain West and over there at TCU. And then he got in the Big 12. He was never able to carry that over. But this is an interesting article from The Athletic about which programs develop their 5-star prospects the best for the NFL.
Do you think they find the better 5-star guys, or do you think they have better coaches?
I think that they do I think kids realize nowadays that if they go to this program, there's a really good shot of them going to the NFL. That they say, because the numbers are going to play out. When I walk you through these numbers, you're going to say, "Oh, I get it. I see why." But see, that's and there was in the there were the programs I'm speaking of is like Alabama. Okay,
whoa, Bama.
Alabama. They have 20 total 5-star prospects
on their entire team or per year?
On their team.
Okay.
This year.
Surprised they have any 4s and 3s.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it is they don't have to. They don't have to take somebody. They don't have to take Bryan Broaddus. They don't have to take somebody like that. They can take.
I hope not. You're in your 50s.
I know, but it was funny.
I have a problem with the hip bend.
Yeah. More so. Yeah, you're right about that. But the thing about it is these programs, I mean, they recruit like they're a year ahead of already. They're a year, and now you got the portal stuff too that teams are having to do. And Alabama, they really don't have to recruit. But they get these 5-star prospects, and so far they have 20 of them. They had 12 of those that were drafted.
Okay.
Of the 5-star recruits.
60% conversion?
Yeah.
And they're at the top?
Yeah, this is looking at from 2015 through 2019 is what they've got.
Well, I bet those 8 guys have real bad excuses.
Yeah.
Coach wouldn't put me in.
Yeah. They've had of the 20 prospects of 12 being drafted, 10 were first-round picks.
Oh, look at that.
Their average draft position was 32, which is last pick in the first round.
See, you say the 5-star guys get outplayed by the 2- and 3-star guys, Brian, but that's 50% first-rounders.
I know.
Show me the 2nd- and 3rd-rounders at schools that are 50% of the time going in the first round.
Yeah, there's the program that was the absolute best of that was Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech would never get a 5-star recruit, and then all of a sudden would end up with all these kids getting drafted and then playing really, really well. But that's Alabama. Okay, that's the average draft position is 32. They still have one 5-star recruit at their school. 5 of those 5-star recruits have transferred from Alabama.
Okay. See you later.
Yeah. So, like you say, nearly 70% of them were first-round picks.
Those are guys with excuses, you know?
Yeah. The Crimson Tide accounted for nearly 30% of the 5-star prospects who were first-round picks over the span, 10 out of 34. Bama's 10 first rounds equal the combined total of the other 5 programs that signed double-digit 5-star prospects during this time. The average position of Alabama's drafted 5-stars is that of a first-round pick. So that's what we were talking about.
Jeez Louise.
Okay. How about the next one?
That's where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, how about this other program? Georgia. Georgia has 20 5-star prospects.
Georgia just doesn't have as much history, you know? I appreciate what Georgia's done.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good program over the years. Yeah. But you want to go to Bama, you know?
Yeah.
That's the spot.
I'll tell you what, though. Georgia, there was a while there where they like you're talking about, it was, I believe, 1980. You know, when you talk about national champions and stuff, like there was a long run where Georgia, Kirby Smart has completely turned that program around, and he came from Alabama. So
that's the days my family lived in Brunswick, Georgia at the time.
Yeah.
That's all they talked about was Herschel Walker.
Walker.
All they talked about.
Him. I was
until Cowboys started winning. Jeez.
It was crazy. Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, Reggie White, all those guys, I saw them all play college football when I was at LSU. Incredible player. Herschel Walker, I've never seen a player like Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Barry Sanders and stuff, but as far as a college player, holy jeez. Couldn't tackle the guy.
It was such a buzz, even in the Northwest, around Herschel Walker. I wore number 34, like, for my first 5 years of soccer.
Really?
Yeah.
How 30? That's a really kind of an unusual soccer number.
It was, but it was just all football and baseball dads, you know?
How did a kid from the Pacific Northwest think about Herschel Walker? How did you get that connection?
We were always watching sports. You know, my dad was just a big sports fan, so we just knew who he was. And, you know, I don't know. We were at practice talking about Herschel Walker, and I asked what number he was, and wanted to wear, like, there's soccer players now who are 8 years old wearing 77, you know, or 41. It's for Dirk or Luka.
Yeah, it's kind of like the kid from Brunswick, Georgia, that wears Warren Moon's number 1 Husky jersey. You know, what would the connection be with a kid in
Okay, so great question. If you grow up in a city without an NFL team, you more just appreciate all the stars around the country. It's not about one team. It's just about kind of like football or the sport in general.
Yeah. I grew up in an era where there was just one game on a week. So that's all you knew. I mean, you knew
one NFL game?
Well, basically one college game a week.
One college game?
Yeah, one college game. Is
was that the wide world of sports?
Yeah, no, it's basically a Keith Jackson.
Yeah. Okay, I like old Keith. He was funny on the bloopers.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Man, so there was only one game, you know. And your halftime highlights were the Monday Night Football. Like 2 minutes of highlights that you got.
Fastest 2-minute sports.
There you go. Georgia has 20. They had 12 drafted. 2 of those were first rounders. Average draft position is 103.
Yeah.
They have still at school 1, and they had 5 transfer away from school.
See, that's where you go if Bama doesn't want you.
Okay, how about this place? Would you rather go to Ohio State then? You have a choice. If you're going to transfer from Alabama. You go
no way I'm going to the state of Ohio. It's too cold.
5-star prospects, 13. Drafted 8. First rounders, 4. Average draft position, 55.
They do convert, don't they?
They do.
It's a good rate.
They still have 2 at school and 1 transferred. The Buckeyes don't have the sheer number of 5-star prospects as Alabama and Georgia, but the conversion rate of turning those players into draft picks is right on par with those programs. Slightly better, actually. The average draft position of its 5-star prospects is the 3rd best among the teams that have signed double-digit 5-stars, again, behind Alabama and Clemson. Did you go to Clemson instead?
Clemson sounds nice. Is that in South Carolina?
It's in South Carolina.
Pretty good weather.
Yep.
How close to the ocean is it?
South Carolina. Yeah, you're on there. I mean, I think Clemson, I'm trying to think of where Clemson is. It's not close to the ocean. I mean, it's not on the coast. So I would say that it's probably a little bit of a drive.
Shorter drive, though.
Shorter drive.
You can get out there.
Yeah, you can get out there.
Good spring breaking spots.
Okay, how about this one then? We mentioned Ohio State. Clemson, I mentioned, was next. They've got 12 5-stars, 7 drafted, 3 in the first round, average draft position of 48. They still have 2 at school. Okay, here's the program I think you need to worry about going into the future.
SC?
SC. That's the one.
Yeah.
SC, and it's everything.
Mr. Trader, man.
It's everything that you just said about why you would go or why you would go to school.
The other USC?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ocean.
The ocean.
The weather.
Yeah. The student body.
Yeah. All those student bodies.
All the student bodies there.
Yeah, I think USC has a lot of appeal. I don't know if I'm thinking about that yet as like a 5-star lineman, maybe as a quarterback and a receiver or something. But I don't know if Lincoln Riley's really going to get it going like Pete Carroll did.
Yeah.
I also want a national championship. It's not just all about nice weather.
I think that USC is the team you need to watch going forward. I think that's the new team. That guy, I know what Lincoln Riley did at Oklahoma, and the fact that he has everything that you just talked about in recruiting out there in California. He's got the transfer portal. He's going to get quarterbacks. He's going to get skill players. The Pac-12 is not as strong unless it's Oregon, somebody like that. I mean, who's his competition? He really doesn't have much competition out there in the Pac-12, does he?
Not most years.
No.
They've been way down.
But there you go. They've got 12 5-stars. 4 of them were drafted. None of them in the first round, though. That's going to change. Get ready for that.
Oh, yeah. He'll have some number one quarterbacks here.
He's going to have some quarterbacks there.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that. My alma mater, LSU, by the way, to close this thing out, at 10 5-stars, 5 of them were drafted. 1 of them in the first round. Average position of 96, and they still have 1 at school. But that was a little bit. You talk about a waste of some talent.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, LSU goes off a national championship year, and the last 2 years are barely 500. So to me,
you got to finish that.
You got to finish that up right there. But we'll see if Brian Kelly can do that. But I would say Alabama, Georgia, and keep an eye on USC. I think USC is going to start taking this thing over.